Hello team, hope we're good. So in this video I'm going to go through some common ring muscle up faults. And I think first thing to say is it's great that people are trying to stay really long through the kip to create as much power as possible to make the reps as efficient as possible. But off the back of that, this is where this fault that I'm going to talk through now can begin to appear when people aren't too aware of where their center of mass is. All right, so I'm going to play this first video and we can go from there. So you can see here when Ed is doing his ring muscle ups, his legs stay far in front of him for quite a long time, and then he has to kind of stabilize in the catch before he can then kip out the dip. All right, and he does the same here again. So his legs kind of staying too far in front of him, and you see this that like double kick that's happening as well. So obviously when he's doing this, his center of mass is more or less in front of his body. So I'll see if I can pause it here. So his center of mass is in front of the rings, which then means it's going to take him longer to be able to transition through the rings, and also then mean there's longer time and attention because he's going to hold that position before he can kip up out and out of the dip. So his reps are going to be somewhat limited because they're going to be slower. Okay. So the next two videos that you're going to see in a second are, notice he's keeping his legs a little lower, which allows the transition to be much faster and also allows the kip out of the rings, out of the ring dip, to be much quicker as well. So in this final video you can see really well. So you can see as he's transitioning, his legs are much lower. He's closer to this kind of 45-degree angle. And this means he can, by keeping his legs lower, he can bring them underneath him much, much quicker. His center of mass, rather than being kind of over here, is much closer to being directly underneath the rings, or pretty much underneath the rings, which then means he can kip out that dip much quicker because center of mass is closer to being directly more under the rings, and he's also able to bring his legs kind of straight up and underneath him to help kip straight out the dip. All right, so Ed's kind of exaggerated both these a little bit. You're going to see me do two techniques in a second which kind of show this a bit more real speed. Okay, so you can see here I'm trying to tuck my legs back underneath me, okay, to turn faster. So imagine if you were, a gymnast or a diver, the more you tuck, the faster you spin, okay? So think about that when you're doing your ring muscle ups and you're going through your transition. Obviously you want to stay long through the initial kip, but then you want to kind of tuck fast, all right, to speed up that transition, okay, and make the movement much less taxing, all right? Let's play it again. Much less taxing, which means less fatigue, which probably means that you're going to be able to do more reps. You're going to be more efficient. Okay, so that's something I just want you to be aware of. All right, and potentially look to utilize and practice that tuck if you are able to stay long during your kip, in your hollow and arch, like I say, but then maybe you are leaving your legs in front of you in that L position and it's just slowing your ring muscle ups down a little bit too much. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that's helpful. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. This is the typical L position that people can end up in when they don't do that tuck like we mentioned here. Okay, so I'm trying to tuck to make that transition as fast as possible. All right, hope this is helpful. Give it a whirl. Let us know how you get on.